Part 3, y'all, of trauma-informed marriage with Dr. Daniel Bates. Now, if you're in a trauma-informed marriage, which I hope you are, the premise of the relationship is that trust has been broken in the past, right? From a dysfunctional family, codependency, abusive, controlling past relationships, some damage has been done. Now, the hard part is when you get in a relationship with someone, there will be more damage. Damage is normal. It happens in every relationship. You're going to break the trust of your partner. Your partner will break your trust. But what happened in the past was a big trauma, right? Major trauma. Big D damage. And what happens with your partner might be small d damage. Maybe in the past, your movements, your decisions were all under the control of the abuser, the manipulator, the exploiter. And now in your current relationship, maybe your partner forgot to pack your favorite condiment in your lunch. And you know that they know that you like that condiment. Maybe they forgot a date, like they thought they were going out to your parents' with you for dinner the next week. And here's the issue. Here's the problem. You're going to respond to that small d problem, that small d damage, like it's a big D damage. And I don't mean to be insensitive here, but you're going to make a mountain out of a molehill, but it's going to still feel like a mountain. But your partner's going to see the molehill where you see the mountain. And you're going to be explaining, hey, this is a mountain. And they're going to be thinking, no, it's just a molehill, but okay. And it's going to frustrate you. They're not going to get it. They're not going to understand how this is impacting you. This feels bad. Up here emotionally, mentally, physically, your whole body is affected by them misremembering the date, putting the keys in the wrong place, forgetting the condiment. It's going to feel like you're back in that place from the past. And you ask me, why do we have trauma-informed marriages? This is why. And so you always have to understand that trust is at stake. Well, I think we all have to understand that trust is at stake. I love steak, the kind you eat. So then what do you do when trust is broken? It doesn't make sense to jettison that person, to divorce them, to shut the relationship down because you still love them, you still care about them. And in reality, it's a small d damage, it's a small b for broken trust, it's a small t for trauma. If they're abusing you and controlling you and exploiting you and manipulating you, I would suggest getting out of the relationship. But if they forgot the condiment in your lunch, they misplaced their dates, and they did some micro damage, I don't think you should divorce them or leave them or demonize them. I think this is an opportunity to work through the problem with them. Please stay and keep working through it. And please know that trust is something that you can continually and perpetually develop and grow and foster and invest in. And sometimes you're going to have to do some big repairs, some small repairs, but keep investing in the trust emotional bank account. Build up your trust capital with your partner. So you need to be rebuilding trust, fostering trust, and repairing trust when it's broken. And so I want to give you 3 trauma-informed ways through this video on how to develop, foster, rebuild, and restore safety and trust in your trauma-informed marriage. Okay, so here it is. Number 1, transparency over secrecy. And this is from AA. Has so many great axioms. I love it. But in AA, I heard once, you are as sick as your secrets. Secrecy erodes trust. Not speaking for a lot of people, maybe speaking for myself, but I've heard it from a lot of people, that people would rather have the ugly truth than a beautiful lie. Because the ugly truth builds trust. At least you're honest with me. So honesty, openness keeps trust alive. Maybe you hurt me, or I hurt you, or this isn't a perfect relationship, but at least I know you're being honest with me. Yeah, I forgot to put your favorite condiment in the lunch. Yes, I misplaced the dates. I thought this week was next week and next week was this week. I'm sorry. I thought we were going to your mom's and not your dad's. I did that. Own it. Take ownership isn't bad or scary. And in fact, people who come from traumatic histories, it's like water to a man in the desert. Honesty is refreshing. It is a salve. It is a balm. So I see trauma-informed couples choose, or let's say, opt for radical honesty, even when it's uncomfortable, because it's like, I need to see you for who you really are, No disguise, no mask, no games. So trust grows when words and actions are consistent, when they're congruent over time. And I say to people, trust character, trust actions over words. Words are great when they are in concert with actions, but I always pay attention to people's actions. I always look at what you do. Okay, idea number 2, repair over perfection. Trauma can make you hypersensitive. It can hijack your brain. You're not always going to think rationally and clearly. And I don't want to make you feel like you're going crazy. Maybe you are. I want to make you aware that trauma can make you hypersensitive to mistakes or irregularities, right? Because it served you. You had to be sensitive to that in the past for survival. But when you're in a healthy context, it's working against you. What was adaptive has now become maladaptive. And so trust doesn't mean that your partner is never going to make a mistake. They will make mistakes, as are you. Last I checked, you're human, and so is your partner. And being human means making mistakes and having flaws. So they're going to blow it. So are you. What does grace, forgiveness, mercy, and repair look like in your relationship? Just because you're trauma informed doesn't mean anyone can't make any mistakes anymore. And so put the justifications away for a moment and just listen to the feelings. Show up for the other person. Understand what they're feeling. Even if it doesn't make sense, they're feeling it. And I talked about this in my last video. Help them co-regulate. That's your job. When they're dysregulated, stop arguing, stop trying to be right and prove your point, and seek regulation first, co-regulation. Then once folks are regulated, you get from a 9 to an 8 to maybe a 6 or a 5. Then you can start revisiting, well, what actually happened? Who said what? What was your understanding of this? What was my understanding of this? Start working it out more rationally. But people can't be rational when they're at an 8 or a 9 out of 10 of dysregulation. And that's why you have to be working towards trust as a long game. Every time you take a hit, there's a problem, there's some damage, a little bit of trust is broken, it's going to make a withdrawal from the trust bank. And then when you come in with a good repair, it actually reconnects you, it rebuilds the trust, maybe even stronger than before. I think people with trauma become very avoidant of conflict. Conflict is bad and scary. Honesty is bad and scary. Emotions are bad and scary. And what I want to retrain people with trauma is emotions are good. Conflict is good. Problems aren't bad. So stop avoiding problems, work through your emotions, and engage with the other person. Seek compromise, understanding, resolution with conflict. It's an amazing thing. Okay, idea number 3, safety rituals. Establish safety rituals, practice safety rituals, which is things that you do to connect through your day, things that you do to connect through conflict. And I think for a lot of folks, they have this idea that conflict equals disconnection. And what I suggest to folks, what I encourage them to do, is to maintain your connection through conflict. Gottman has these ideas. John Gottman, awesome psychologist, author. Check him out. Google him, YouTube, all that stuff. He's amazing. But he has this idea of rituals of connection. So things that you do throughout your day to stay connected, emotionally connected. So like check-ins, the leaving for work ritual, the coming home from ritual, the kiss before bed, all sorts of things that you do throughout your day, sprinkling little bits of connection throughout your day really soothes your nervous system and makes me think I'm safe, I'm okay, I'm regulated. There's no boogeyman, right? But I also want to enhance that idea of how do you maintain connection through a conflict. I would say maybe it's okay to hold hands during conflict. A lot of people struggle making eye contact. When you make eye contact, it's releasing oxytocin. So maybe look at your partner, have good sustained eye contact when you're verbalizing, but also maybe use things like I statements where you describe your feelings. Whenever partners start describing their partner, it's usually kind of an attack like, you missed the date. You forgot the condiment in my lunch. You're so forgetful. You're so inconsiderate versus I didn't feel cared for when you forgot this important thing. I felt forgotten when this thing happened between us. So describe yourself, not your partner. Consider holding hands or being physically close to them. Consider having your arm around them when you describe your frustrations or your feelings. Consider maintaining eye contact so that you're producing oxytocin and so that you're bonding and connecting and staying close through the conflict, because conflict isn't bad. It's good and necessary for healthy relationships. Okay, so trust isn't rebuilt in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. At least I don't think it was. So rebuild your trust through a series of steps. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's rebuilt through daily acts of honesty, repair, and safety. It comes through all these micro acts of building trust, building the trust capital up between you and your partner. And when you can embrace transparency and honesty, when you can practice repairs, when you can build safety through daily rituals, when you can connect while having conflict, not all these setbacks feel like you go to zero. You feel like you can still maintain your ground, your growth, your progress in the face of the challenges. All right. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.